we've talked a lot about stories, but it doesn't need to be a whole story. It could be a poem that you use as a framework for your sensory experience. And I've started here with a nursery rhyme. Polly put the kettle on. And this is a page from the nursery rhyme book, which I've taken out. I've made a bag from a dish towel. And inside, now I've just got one or two things. I've got a plate. And because I wanted to show you these plastic dishes from IKEA. Sound like an advert, but a whole set of plastic dishes in all colours, which are excellent. And I thought we could use these where Polly put the kettle on. We could have a plastic cup. Perhaps we want to use a shower cloth. Remember the old-fashioned shower cloths? To set the table first of all, but this could be a different sensory experience for your child. This very fine material. Polly put the kettle on, Polly put the kettle on, Polly put the kettle on, we'll all have tea. You could use any materials that you have at home. It may be favourite materials of the child, a favourite cup, it could be mum's cup, but we could use them as a framework for this short poem. Another poem I have here, and it's about a frog. And I've stored it again in a wash bag. And it's called Over the Meadow. And for this, I've used 2 little frogs. Now, I know I said you can't give a child a piece of plastic and call it an animal. Similarly, you can't give a child a piece of fur and call it a frog. But they do make a pretty good frog sound. And I've used them for that reason. Over the meadow, in the sun, in the sand, in the sun, lived an old mother frog and her young froggy son. Croak, said the mother. Croak, croak, said the son. So they croaked and they croaked in the sand, in the sun. Just some sounds of a frog to add a little bit of interest to the poem about the frogs. I've used a sandpaper sheet here. I would much rather use a tray of sand. If you can use that, that's even better. Just as a framework for another poem. I like this. That was the works again. And the last poem is about a ladybird. And I looked hard for something because I found this little lunch bag with a ladybird on the front, which I thought would be great for storing. In here we have a book, What the Ladybird Heard song, which I can tell you I picked up for 50p in Waterson's, and it's by Julia Donaldson, who wrote the Gruffalo story. And there's a good song in there which I'm not going to go through. But we'll get a very simple little song about a ladybird now. The ladybird, here we go to plastic again, but this ladybird isn't just any old ladybird. He moves and he vibrates. Now your child may well not like vibration, but they may like to watch your ladybird dancing around. Ladybird, ladybird, where do you fly? Up, 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 in the sky so high. Ladybird, ladybird, where do you land? Down, 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 in a little girl's hand. And that's the end of the poem. Very short and sweet, but giving another experience to your child that they may not have had. Just putting together some bits and pieces into this lunch bag about a ladybird. You may have another toy ladybird you want to use. You may not want to use anything to represent the ladybird, but it's just giving another little poem for your child.